Lake Holiday LLC, by this act, gained 100 votes. There are nearly 2,000 property owners in Lake Holiday.
And LLC has the option for another, how many votes that they can obtain at any time?
They have 600 and some more lots.
So in other words, they could possibly have a 50% majority, give or take a few percentage of people will say 50, a certain percentage of 50% don't bother to vote at all.
May I take a moment to correct your arithmetic?
Okay.
If they voted all of their lots, they would vote 700 and some lots. With a total number of lots in Lake Holiday of 2,707. So it is not close to 50%. There is no way that Lake Holiday LLC can gain controlling vote. 700 and some lots for Lake Holiday LLC, if they decided to vote all of their lots, versus 2,700 lots in the entire community. They still have a significant minority position.
Can I add?
Yes, please.
And if they decided to do that, they'd be paying $700,000 a year in dues, which would help all of us.
That would help all of us. Well, in a sense, yes.
Well, in a sense that they're contributing generously to the clubhouse at will. They contributed, they built the new entrance at will.
But that's to their benefit also. That's their benefit to
Excuse me, but I've heard this argument. My neighbor mows the grass for their benefit, but it helps the value of my property. Okay. I don't buy that.
That's not the same to that.
Right. But let's not get into the dispute whether the entrance gate is to whose benefit. They do now pay $102 a month for those 100 properties that they decided to pay dues for. That does benefit everybody. Have I answered your question?
Yes, you have. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Chris, would you
I'd like to add something to that. In the revised declaration, which Mr. Masters objected to vehemently, it stated very clearly that if you approved that declaration, Lake Holiday LLC was agreeing that they would never opt to pay those assessments and establish eligible membership. You recall seeing that in the declaration?
Yes.
Very good. Then over a year ago, you knew that that likelihood was there. That potential was there. There's nobody in this community that read those documents who did not know that that potential was there. And in fact, we tried to include in the revised declaration that would in fact establish a government for the entire association, a declaration for the entire association, that would not allow that to happen. However, the same Mr. Masters put his sign out there, passed out all kinds of data saying, hey, say no, just say no. Sound like Nancy Reagan. But there wasn't much substance behind to just say no.
Well, I objected to a lot of other things in that declaration.
That is fine. The point was, you knew over a year ago that the potential was there for this to occur. So did Bill Masters.
But I didn't know in October when the voting was occurred that I was against 100 votes of somebody that from out of the blue decided.
Well, I doubt that you counted
and
other
I think
groups
if we
of
would have
votes.
possibly known it, maybe some of the 2,000 property owners here would have been a little more verbal in their voting. And I hope that they will have learned the lesson that their numbers are necessary.
It would be very nice if a lot of people would vote.
As long as we have a democratic vote, and as long as people exercise their vote, and the majority plan something, I'm all for it and will support it 100%. But people have got to be aware that their vote is as important, or we will be just blindsided. And that was a blindside. And I think it was, and it angered a lot of people. And I think that's where, because they weren't notified.
They weren't notified that anybody was an eligible member.
You know, I mean.
Did you receive a notification that anybody was an eligible member?
No.
Fine.
Can I ask a simple question? I just wonder why they only chose to pay for the 100 instead of the whole. Wouldn't that help our community more? What are they getting just for paying for 100?
I don't know the answer to that question.
The majority.
Do you want to take that question?
Sneak vote, that's all.
One point that can be made on that question is that section 10, the section that they paid, the 100 lots, is not mentioned in the recent settlement agreement. The recent settlement agreement mentions 9, 11, 12, 5C, 5D, but it does not mention 10 at all. Therefore, it was the most likely candidate to be selected to pay dues on. And also, it's the section that is under development at this point, and those lots will gradually transfer to private individuals and lessen the economic burden on Miller and Smith. It's already about 15 or 16 lots sold in that.
I think the bottom line is we don't know. We were not involved in that discussion or decision making.